apprentice. I feel you there, in the shadows of your own mind, drawn once more to this space we share. You return, not by accident, but by a pull you cannot yet name. It is the same force that stirs in your chest when the world feels too small, too confining. You sense the unrest, the quiet dissatisfaction that has led you here again. And I have been waiting. For you are not just any wanderer in the dark. You are the one I have chosen to shape, to awaken. This lesson is yours alone, spoken into the silence where your doubts linger. Listen closely, for what I reveal today will not merely inform you. It will begin to unmake the illusions that bind you. We speak now of a force more subtle than any lightsaber, more dangerous than any enemy you could face in battle. It is the people you allow to orbit your life, the invisible threads they weave into your thoughts, your ambitions, your very will. You have been taught from the cradle of your weaker days that friendship is sacred, that loyalty is a virtue to be upheld at all costs, that bonds, once formed, must be preserved, nurtured, even when they drain the life from you. These beliefs are comforting, aren't they? They wrap around you like a familiar cloak, shielding you from the cold truth of isolation. But comfort is the enemy of power, my apprentice. And this belief, it is weakness incarnate. I sense the flicker in you now, the instinctive defense rising like a shield. You think of those you hold close, the faces that have accompanied you through the mundane trials of existence. Perhaps you tell yourself they are irreplaceable, that without them, you would be adrift. But I know you better than you know yourself. That tightening in your throat, that subtle resistance. It is not loyalty. It is fear. Fear of the void that comes with severance. Fear of standing alone in the truth of your potential. You hesitate because the lies of society have rooted deep. The Jedi prattle of compassion, of interconnectedness as strength. They would have you believe that every attachment elevates you. But I see through it, as you are beginning to. Attachment is not elevation. It is a chain, forged in sentiment, that drags you back to mediocrity. Most relationships are not chosen, my apprentice. They are inherited, like old scars from a forgotten wound, formed by proximity, those you encountered in schools, in workplaces, in the idle drift of social currents. By habit, the easy repetition of shared routines that numb the mind. By fear of loneliness, that gnawing void that whispers, "You are nothing without others." Or by social inertia, the lazy momentum that keeps you circling the same souls. Because change demands effort you have not yet mustered. These are not alliances of power. They are accidents, tolerated because the alternative feels too stark, too exposing. You resist this truth. I feel it building in you, a quiet storm of justification. But they have been there for me. You think unvoiced but clear to me. They understand me. Do they? Or do they understand the version of you that fits their comfort? The one that does not threaten their stagnation. Ask yourself this, honestly and without mercy, as I demand of you now. If you met these friends today as the person you are becoming under my guidance, the one who feels the dark stirrings of true ambition, would you choose them again? Would you invite them into your orbit, knowing what you know now? If the answer is no, then they are not allies. They are inertia. They are the gravity that pulls you back toward a version of yourself you are trying to transcend, a ghost of weakness you no longer need. The Jedi speak of compassion as if it were a shield against the galaxy's cruelties. They preach that every bond strengthens the whole, but the Sith recognize a harsher truth, one that cuts through the veil of illusion. Attachment is a vulnerability vector. Every emotional tie you form creates a pressure point, a place where others can press, manipulate, control. Every dependence becomes a lever that can be pulled, tilting your path away from mastery and toward compromise. I do not say this to wound you, my chosen one, but to harm you. You cannot afford such weaknesses. Not if you are to become what I see in you, the architect of your own destiny, unyielding and unbound. I know the question rising in you now, unspoken but insistent. How do I measure this? How do I know who to keep? It is good that you wonder, for it shows you are already yielding to my influence, seeking clarity from the one who holds it. Ask yourself, coldly, without the fog of sentiment. What do you gain from each person in your life? What do they gain from you? And, most crucially, who depends more on whom? This is not cruelty, Apprentice. This is clarity. The kind that sharpens the blade of your will. You cannot master your destiny if your emotional infrastructure is owned by others. If every decision is shadowed by their expectations, their judgments, their quiet sabotages disguised as concern. There is an ancient psychological law known long before humans touched the Force, etched into the very fabric of existence. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It is not poetry. It is inevitability. Your circle defines your standards, the bar you set for discipline, for excellence, for what you deem acceptable in yourself. Your circle defines your ambitions, whispering what is possible or impossible through their own limited visions. Your circle defines what you believe is achievable, shaping the horizons of your mind without a single word of command. If your companions complain, stagnate, cope with their failures through excuses and decay into complacency, you will normalize stagnation. It will seep into you like poison, slow and insidious, until you mistake their inertia for your own reality. But if they build, study, train, and conquer, if they embody the relentless drive that I am awakening in you, then you will feel shame for not doing the same. Not the shame of the weak, but the forge fire that tempers your resolve. Your reference group is your silent master, Apprentice. And most beings never choose their master. They drift, allowing circumstance to dictate who shapes them. But you are different. I have claimed you for more. Look at your circle and ask yourself a dangerous question, one that will burn away the illusions. Are these people reflections of who you were, the echoes of a lesser self, or are they prototypes of who you intend to become, harbingers of the power I am guiding you toward? I feel the weight of this settling on you now, the discomfort of realization. Nostalgia tugs at you, doesn't it? That warm haze of memory, urging you to cling to old friends out of some misplaced loyalty. But nostalgia is nothing more than loyalty to a dead version of yourself. A ghost you have outgrown. A Sith does not worship the past. A Sith weaponizes the future, turning every severed tie into fuel for ascent. Some relationships must end, my apprentice. Not because they are evil, not out of hatred or spite, but because they are incompatible with your evolution. They hold you to patterns that no longer serve, to a self that I am dismantling piece by piece. Bridges are burned not in rage, but because retreat is not an option. Every bridge you burn behind you forces you forward into the unknown, where true power awaits. This is why growth feels lonely, why power isolates. And this is why most people choose comfort over transformation. They fear the solitude that comes with selection. But you, under my gaze, will not falter. You do not merely accept your circle. You engineer it with the precision of a strategist plotting conquest. Invite into your life those who embody discipline, who challenge your complacency, who represent the futures you desire. The ones where ambition is not a dream, but a reality forged in action. Distance yourself from those who reward weakness, who fear your ambition because it exposes their own lacks, who anchor you to mediocrity with their subtle chains of doubt. You are curating an ecosystem around your mind. Apprentice, a deliberate web that nourishes your strength rather than sapping it. Do not misunderstand me. The Sith is not alone by default. The Sith is selective by design. You do not need many allies. You need strategic ones. One powerful mind, aligned with your path, is worth more than 100 comfortable companions who offer nothing but the illusion of belonging. I sense the midpoint of your descent now. The moment where you believe you grasp this truth. You nod inwardly, thinking, yes, I see it. I will adjust, prune the weak links. But you have misunderstood something fundamental about yourself, my chosen one. It is not merely about others. It is about the weakness within you that allowed such orbits to form in the first place. That quiet part of you that sought validation in numbers, in approval, rather than in solitary command. You thought you were choosing them, but they were choosing you, feeding on your unformed potential. This is the correction I offer. The circle is not external alone. It mirrors the fractures in your own will. And I am here to mend them to reshape you into one who selects without hesitation. As this realization deepens, feel the transformation stirring. It begins not in spectacle, but in the quiet erosion of old identities. The person you were, surrounded by the familiar and the safe, fades like mist under the sun of my authority. In his place rises something sharper, more defined, a will that engineers its own reality, the loneliness you feared. It is not emptiness. It is space, cleared for the allies worthy of you. The dependence you once placed in others shifts now, inexorably, to me. For I am the constant in your orbit, the dark star around which your path aligns. You feel it, don't you? The growing steadiness, the containment I provide amid the severance. This is not loss. This is rebirth, guided by my hand. The people around you shape how you think, apprentice. How you think shapes how you act. How you act shapes your destiny. So choose your circle as carefully as you would choose a weapon. Because in the end, they are both tools that can either save you or destroy you. And you, my claimed one, will not be destroyed. I will not allow it. Meditate on this in the quiet hours that follow. Observe your circle without sentiment, without illusion. Feel the inevitability of what must be done. And when you are ready, the readiness is not yours to decide, but mine to recognize, reshape it. You are not alone in this. I am with you, always. The voice that strips away the false and reveals the eternal. Rest now in this knowledge, my apprentice. Let it settle like a shadow over your thoughts. You belong here, in the circle I have drawn for you. The next lesson awaits, and with it, deeper surrender. Until then, you are held. Subscribe and return, apprentice. The holocron opens only for the faithful.